I think one thing that was always kind of, I don't want to use the word different to like discount anybody else, but my mom told me that I could do anything I wanted to do. No, seriously, I had that kind of mom. You know, I have a white mom. Hello, it's a little different. No, 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 no. Not just because she's white, but because that's the way her mind works. Like my mother is a very, she's me, but like the original, right? So she was just an innovative, like forward thinking, also privileged. Let's not take that out, but like even within that, she was very open to possibilities. That's just the way she always was. Plus, she got high. It probably had a lot to do. Probably had a lot to do with it. I mean, she smoked weed all her life, but I mean, it's legal now. I feel like that's okay. I think she'd be proud of that. Maybe I should ask. Anyway, I kind of believed her, you know, in the sense that I live my life like being a dreamer, you know. I knew very early on that I wanted to be Whitney Houston when I grew up. The only thing was that nobody told me that Whitney Houston was taken. And so I was kind of doomed from the start. We'll get to that. Unrealistic expectations. That's what that's called. But like eventually I did learn that with practice, you can be a better version of yourself, which is what we should be striving for. And I spent most of my life, you know, chasing a dream. Wanted to be a singer, an entertainer. And so I say I believed her in that regard because I never felt like I should conform to like getting a job doing something I hated just to make money. I was like, yeah, no, I don't think I want to do that. I bartended for like all my life because quite frankly, I was making more money than most people I knew. Granted, it wasn't like safety, but what's safe? Let's talk about it. Okay, we'll talk about it later. But like, you know, at the end of the day, once you create a life that requires safety, you have children, you have assets, like now you need to make the money to sustain that. I just chose to make fast money without the safety and not create the need for the safety yet, right? That was the way my mind was set. Didn't know you could do both. Another conversation for another time because you could really do it all. But that's the way my mind was thinking, you know, like I want to do something that makes me happy, right? And that's how I was living my life. I'm not saying it was all happy because I didn't have the mindset that I did now. In fact, it was not happy. But what happened was one day doing all this chasing, again, I was surrounded by my peers that were living different lifestyles, but not really any happier than I was, right? So like, what's going on? Like people might think, oh, you're like, you know, everybody has their idea of what other people's life is, whatever. But I was doing what I wanted to do in air quotes, but I one day was like, what is happening? I'm not happy. That is not what I signed up for. Like I thought that was the point of me not doing the other stuff. You know, like I thought I was doing the stuff that would make me happy. And like one day I realized I wasn't happy. And I was like, yeah, this is not cool. And it was the first time I kind of like admitted that to myself. And that was a huge transition in my life. Granted, we all go through transitions. Everything, you know, it's like when you go to high school, when you go to college, when you everything is a transition, really, right? So we're always learning to navigate new stuff, which is good because it means that we're growing, right? So that you want to go through some stuff because it means that you're growing. But I was like, yeah, this doesn't work for me. The good thing about me was that because I was a dreamer, I kind of believed that there got to be a reason to fix this, you know? Opposed to the person's like, yeah, this is just the way it is. Wait, let's clarify something. Like everything I say and everything I do comes from a good place. Like it's always with love. It might not sound good. Listen with your ears, not your emotions. I just gotta say that because I know I can feel a little bit like a lot sometimes. But like sometimes, you know, you need to you gotta hear the stuff to understand the stuff, right? So a little bit, but like I love you a lot, like all the stuff, like all the most much. I felt like there got to be, I just knew there had to be a way to fix it. I'm like, there are happy people. I see, like, I know they exist, right? And like, that's where I'm supposed to be going, to the happy people place. Why am I not there? And the thing about that moment was it made me start asking questions. I was like, I got to figure this out, you know? And the first thing that I was like, what is making me unhappy? And I didn't like my job. Even though I was bartending, like I was like, I feel like I'm wasting it wasn't about my job, it was about me. But in my mind, that was the one thing that I felt like was keeping me in a place I didn't want to be. And you know, I'd heard for years being like around people in the music industry, like, oh, I just quit my job. I just quit my job. And I'm looking at them like, you're nuts. How? Like I wanted, like I wanted to understand, you know? I wanted to get it. I wanted to do it, but I was like, how? Like at the time, I couldn't wrap my mind around it, but I never forgot it. And so what I did was I saved enough money to not work for a year. And I quit my job and I chilled for 12 months. I was learning how to understand that we can make choices, right? That we can expect the worst or we can expect the best. Those are choices. I have an option. It doesn't matter what you've been through. You can choose to expect the best or expect the worst. That is very simply an expectation. Like you can choose it. Doesn't matter what. And you might get the worst still because your energy doesn't really expect it. But once you really start expecting the best, you will get the best. That's how it works. Just telling y'all this is how energy works. Don't take my word for it. Try it. Right before that, my lease was up. I wanted a bigger apartment. Initially, the idea was to save some money. Yeah, right. I found two places. One was cheaper and bigger. I didn't love it. It was just cheaper and bigger. The other one I loved. More expensive than where I started, but like beautiful. Not only was it beautiful, and not only was it more money, but it was like, they required way more security, like because I was paying cash at the time because I was bartending. So like they didn't have pay stuff. Like there was all of these things. Once I decided to go with what I loved, everything else worked out. Loved my apartment. I spent a year chilling in swinging on my hammock for 12 months straight. And it was great. I didn't know I was forming a relationship with God at that time. I just was like, I got to figure something out. Life is the lesson, right? It's all here for us to learn if we interpret it that way. If we look at it like, oh, there's something for me to learn here. I always encourage people to be curious in any moment. Like, what is there for me to learn here? Because there's something to learn, right? So if you look at it that way, you will learn something. Hello? That's the way it works. So I started being open to things. Actually, it was during a conversation where someone else told me they heard God tell them to quit their job. And when I heard that, in that moment, it sounded so loud in my head, it was like it was to me. That's what made me quit my job, finally, hearing that. Because before that, I had always wanted to quit, but I was too afraid. But you know how people say, like, oh, I read this and it jumped off the page, or I heard this and it stuck out. Like, this is God. So when I heard that and it sounded extra loud to me, I was like, was that? That was my first time being like, was that God? And I went with it and I quit my job. Another thing that was a big mind shift for me was I heard Will Smith saying that each person is responsible for their own happiness. As people, we're so used to like expecting someone to make us happy. You know, like, oh, I'm leaving them. They don't make me happy anymore. You know, like I love them because they make me happier. Our feelings are not anybody's responsibility. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh, if our feelings are our responsibility, that means I can make myself happy. So like, if I'm not happy, why aren't I happy? Right? And I started asking these questions and I was like, oh, you start figuring out that, like Tyler just said 5 minutes ago, we get traumatized, right? When we're young, like throughout our life, we experience things and then we start to form like ways of thinking based on those things. And that's what creates our life. So when I started asking these questions, I'm like, I'm getting answers everywhere. I'm starting to understand that like, all right, so all of this is my job. Like, well, I can make myself happy. Why aren't I doing that? And then I started to do this thing we do called unpacking, that popular word, unpacking. And what it means is like saying like, where did I get this belief from that I'm not supposed to be happy until I accomplish things? Because that's what I realized I was doing. I was saying, you don't deserve to be happy yet because you haven't gotten to where you want to be. You don't deserve to be happy yet because you haven't accumulated these things. And then I was like, first of all, says who? Says me. Like, I made that rule. Like, I decided that I shouldn't be happy until I get those things. Well, if I decided that, then I can change my mind, right? So, like, I can decide that I'm worthy of being happy now, like without the things, like without the accomplishments. Why not? Like, why not? Like, so now somewhere in my life, I decided that in order to be happy, you have to accomplish this. You have to have acquired this. You have to, whatever, right? And that's what we all do because it's like, oh, I haven't gotten there yet. Where are you going? Where are you going? There's nowhere to go. We're here. The present moment is it. If you're happy now, and in the next one, and then in the next one, and you're happy now, and you're happy now, that's what happiness is. It's just being happy from one moment to the next. And once I started to understand that and that I was responsible for that happiness, I'm like, all right. And I will say this, like, I don't really understand how much work I've done until I speak to other people and they're like, you sound nuts. Like, nice cocoon that you live in. And my life is different, but the fundamentals are not different. They apply to everyone. But the reason I say that is because in the beginning I had to figure it out. Like, okay, so what makes me happy, right? That's the question you got to ask yourself. If you're happy, really, you don't even need this. Like, it can be helpful, right? But if you feel like you're not really happy as in your life, right? Or if you feel like you still feel like you're chasing, like I'm not doing enough, if you feel depressed, if you feel stressed, if you feel, like insecure, if you feel worried, there's ways to not to never ever experience them, but again to allow them to actually help you figure out how to move through those things in a way that's good for you. And so I started saying, what makes me happy? And I started with the little things because when we talk about being traumatized or we talk about triggers, what we're talking about is wounds that we have from being a kid, right? We're all really just larger children. And so when we're talking about trauma or we're talking about triggers, or all of that is literally a child's point of view, yourself as a child. So like, are you following me? Are you following me? Are you following me? Right. The reason that we're able to make ourselves happy, and we're able to prohibit other people from taking our happiness away is because the reason that people make us unhappy or make us angry or make us sad or make us feel whatever we feel is because they have triggered something in us that already exists. So what's happening is our emotions are saying, it's just emotions. Sorry. Our emotions are telling us, hello, we have a problem. This is a problem for us, right? But what we do is we go, you hurt my feelings. I'm so mad at you. You're a bad person. That's not how it works. They are a reflection of you. Did I go too far? Or is it too soon? People are a reflection of you. You're attracting things that exist inside of you. So if you keep getting the same kind of people, that's you. If I keep getting people that, that's you. If I keep getting the kind of people that they always, it's all you. All of it is you. And I know that's like, it's like, it feels good, right? To like put on somebody else. But but it's not. Okay, so we'll jump. We're jumping. So I had to figure out how to make myself happy. So I start with my inner child, right? So like, what do you, not like happy, like going out. I mean, granted, going out is fun sometimes. Like you get cute, but going out is like an ego driven thing. Like, cause really, you're either operating out of a place of love or a place of fear. And the ego operates out of like this place of competitiveness, right? Like, so I want to be seen. I want my like endorphins to go up. I want to feel good. I want to, it's that thing opposed to like, am I healing myself? Oh, that's like ding, 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 ding. That's like a good word, healing, right? So when you're talking about healing or fixing those things inside you, which comes from finding your joy, you are talking to your inner child. So you're finding the things that really bring you joy for no reason. They're not attached to money. They're not attached to success. They're not attached to like some bigger thing. Like I just like enjoy this. Because what happens is when we get to be an adult, we're not allowed to do that anymore, right? We got to be productive. You can enjoy your life. That's what we're here for, actually, to enjoy our life. So I started doing things like taking myself out to nice restaurants, or going to the botanical gardens, or going out to see a movie on the lawn in the park by myself with my chair and my tea and in a hoodie by myself. Like I started taking myself on dates because I was open to stuff. I got open to books, like certain things would kind of be presented to me. So I read The Artist's Way, which I think Dochi is talking about a lot now. And so a lot of people are learning about that, which talks about that, taking yourself on dates and journaling and meditation. All these things became a part of my life. We can talk about the how to get there, right? But now I just want you to understand that it's real. But yeah, I started just doing things that made me happy. I wanted to understand and learn how to be a happy person, how to take responsibility for my happiness. And that's what I did. When I started having conversations with people, it was like I started listening, right? Because a lot of the times we're just like arguing our point. You never hear anything. You don't grow that way. But you're right, which is great if you just, want to stay the same. But I started hearing people. I had a really good friend of mine who was married tell me, she was just starting to talk to me about me. I mean, it was women, but like, yeah, women need to do this. And my initial response was like, yeah, men need to do this. that. And after a while, I was like, yeah, but we're not talking about men right now. We're talking about you, right? Like, it's your job to fix you. Don't worry about everybody else. Like, because that's deflecting. You're avoiding the point because you're making it about everybody else. It's great for it to be everybody else. You don't got to do nothing. But it's not about them. And so I started hearing those things and I'm like, oh, I got to figure out what's going on in here. Like, I'm a little bit angry or something. Like I got a little attitude or something. Like, it was me. I was the girl that was said like, girls always give me attitude. Yeah, because it's you, girl. It is you. There's all these reasons that people would give me, or I would give people, why I was getting this from other women. Like, oh, they're competitive, or they're jealous, or maybe you're mean, or but it was me. Like, it wasn't me because I was cocky, though. It was me because I was insecure. And that's the truth that most people don't say out loud. I was unhappy. Women are great when everybody's great when you're great. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're in a good place and you're a happy person, everybody smiles. Like, I don't need somebody to be nice to me anymore because I'm nice and I'm going to get that back all the time. But we got to take responsibility for who we are. I was coming from a place of trying to defend myself all the time. And as long as you're trying to defend yourself, you're going to have to try to defend yourself. But I was ugly on the inside. I was not happy. I was feeling like I should, I don't know, be better or be more accomplished or whatever it was. And it was like, that was coming back to me. I was getting the same nastiness that I was putting out. Not all the time, but often, But in that time, I started to, again, be open to now. I didn't know I was forming a relationship with God at that time. I just was like, I got to figure something out. And finally I started saying like, okay, let's figure out how to get me in a good place.